big source of arguments a lot of times, where it's like, I'm all excited about a certain thing, and then you come at me with questions. And like, I'm up here on cloud 9 and you're asking me questions
and the voice of reason, right?
Yeah. And
bringing you back down to reality
back down to reality. And I remember just early in my immaturity of interpreting this of like, why are you always pissing in my Cheerios? Why do you always got to bring me down? Right. In like over time of our communication. And I remember the light bulb moment of like, oh, wow. Like, this is not only is she not trying to bring me down, but you're the perfect fit for me because you're the integrator. Yeah, right? Like, to go back to EOS and anybody that's listened to our past episodes, like, I'm up here, like, thinking of this, and this, and you have your moments that way too. But even in bad times, when I'm super emotional, I want a pity party. I want someone that's like going to feel sorry for me. And like, I want to walk in the door and you'd be like, oh, maybe you should just give up. And like, blah,
I'm
blah,
not
blah.
that girl. I'm just not that girl.
You're just not that girl. Yeah. You ask questions and like, they were just very basic questions, but they helped me get out of the pity party or feeling bad for myself. And I say this all the time. There's a big difference between sympathy and empathy. Sympathy is like having somebody that's like, I feel bad for you. Let's sit and wallow together. And you've never been that person. And again, in a different mindset and a different perspective, that pissed me off. That was a source of like arguments, right? And then as I start to realize the perspective of like what it really is, it's so incredibly valuable. And I don't know how many other couples are out there that have bumped up across this where someone's asking them questions. And when you ask those questions, it's almost like I still get that initial reaction sometimes where it's like, are you not on my side?
Yeah, I think natural reaction is you get defensive, right? Somebody's asking you questions and you feel like they're tearing into you, right? They're tearing through that you're vulnerable, right? When you're feeling so frustrated and you're spinning your wheels, you're at your most vulnerable state for you, especially for you.
Yeah.
Because you're so good, right? And so when you're feeling like you're not, that's when you're like vulnerable. And so when I start asking you questions, you're like, you're attacking me. No, honey, I'm not attacking you, right? But these are the questions that are going to let you figure out what you need to know. And if you can't ask yourself those questions, somebody's got to ask them.
Someone's got to ask them. It's if you don't have somebody in your life that asks you the questions that help ground you and bring you back to reality, you need to find that person. And that's why I say, going back to it and just all the things that I said at the beginning, you helped me grow more than any other person I've ever met in my whole entire life. And that's just a tip of the iceberg. But that, again, just from where my perspective was at the beginning to where it is now, to where it still hurts sometimes, especially when I really am in that pity party, because we all get that way emotional where our emotions are clouding what we can see. To have somebody that's like manning the ship and has the binoculars out and is like, has some clarity and is not in that emotional pity party, can like ask you questions and help ground you get out of it, it's life-changing.